Taylor Martin for Duncan Robinson. Gets a screen from Adebayo, and his three blocked from behind by Derek White. Tatum passes on a loose ball. Bounce pass lead. Al Horford for Jaylen Brown. Dives in and flushes hard on Bam Adebayo. Timeout, Eric Spoelstra.
Oh, they sandwiched him. It was a pancake in his face.
Welcome to the Celtics post-game live presented by New England Ford Dealers and Ford Trucks. Scal, Eddie, House, Kendrick Perkins, Amina Smith here with you. And the Celtics win in Game 4 against the Miami Heat, 116-99. We finally saw Celtics basketball in this matchup, an elimination matchup against the Miami Heat. Perk, I'll start with you. Your biggest takeaway after this win?
Well, how about the biggest takeaway before the game? I picked them to win the game today. But no, seriously, it was all about, to me, it was all about Jason Tatum in that second half, completely dominating all across the board, from rebounding the basketball at a high level, from, making the right passes when, Spo and the Miami Heat threw the double team at him. I mean, he was phenomenal. I was wondering, why didn't he start the fourth? Like, in those games, you just got to ride him out the entire game. But I thought Jason Tatum all across the board, humbly speaking, he showed why he was one of the best players in the world, in the game.
Well, he did that too, but I think what my belief is the way they played defense in that second half. They took care of the basketball and they played defense. They were super active. They got deflections. They got blocks. They made it hard. Even if Jimmy Butler was getting into the paint and was trying to lay the ball up, it was one body, two bodies. He was deep. Guys were staying contained. They were disciplined defensively, and they knocked down shots. And I've been saying it all year. It seems like when they play really good defense, the basket starts to open up for them. And then on top of that, they had 28 assists on 43 field goals, which means that ball was moving. It wasn't just one pass, one shot, or ISO basketball. When it was time for ISO basketball, they got it done because they already had it going. But to me, it was the defense. 66-43 in that second half. That's big-time performance by the Celtics on the defensive end.
Love the way they started the game. Tatum and Brown trying to get other people involved. They weren't really sometimes they would challenge guys, but for the most part, I thought they were getting off the ball, didn't have a lot of field goal attempts. Jason Tatum in that second half just absolutely dominated. I mean, dominated the second half. Defensively, rebounding the ball, and he's got to understand that the teams, their energy, for whatever reason, maybe it shouldn't be this way, but it is this way. Their energy is affected. When he's going and balling like that, the rest of the guys are going to respond, and I agree with both you guys. Eddie House, we're talking about the defense. They responded defensively, and Perk saying Jason Tatum was the best player on the floor today. He needs to be the best player, not just this game, the next 3 games if the Celtics have any chance of going to the NBA Finals.
Jason Tatum was locked in and also aggressive in that fourth quarter as well. Who also had a good game, Al Horford. He's with Abby Chin after this matchup.
Got one. How?
Playing team, staying together. We feel like we found some good things here tonight. Just our backs against the wall, like we talked about, and we got the first one.
How much pride does this group take in coming through in those moments?
We take a lot of pride. We know what we have. For whatever reason, we haven't been able to be at our best. And our backs are against the wall now, and I felt like our guys responded.
Al, you hit your first 3 in this game. How important was it for you to see that shot go down?
It was good. The biggest thing is the ball movement. If you see our game tonight, the ball wasn't sticking so much, and I feel like we kind of found what it takes for us to be the best version of ourselves.
What keyed that 8-0 run in the third quarter to take control?
Just solid basketball. We started on the defensive end, got stops when we needed, and then took advantage of that.
Finally, we talked this morning. You said no pressure. You feel that going into Game 5 as well?
No pressure. No pressure at all. It's on them, and we're playing pretty free right now.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Scal, I told you at the half that we would find out about this team in that third quarter, and Abby mentioned it right there. They went on that 18-0 run in the third quarter. They outscored the Miami Heat 38-23. Scal, what looked different about the Celtics coming out the half?
So we just talked about Tatum and the Celtic defense, right? I want to hear from you guys too. It was the first time in the series that those role players, those undrafted guys, that everyone, the culture and all that stuff, it looked like the Miami Heat were feeling the pressure. That's what I saw. I get it. Like, we took it from them. Tatum did his thing. But I was looking at those other guys, and it finally looked to me like it was the series is supposed to look. Like, you guys just aren't at the same level as the Celtics. That's what that second half looked like, especially in that third quarter.
Who you want to go first?
You can go ahead, Eddie.
Okay, well, I'm with you on that level, Scal. We got 2 All-NBA players and a defensive All-NBA guy. They don't have the same makeup as a team from top to bottom. And for the first time, we played harder than them. Yeah. For the first time in this series, from start to finish, we played harder than them. We played with a sense of urgency. They got loose balls. They were getting offensive rebounds. They shared the basketball. They didn't settle for just threes. Later in that fourth quarter, there was a couple threes. You're like, oh, that was a settle. Then we end up getting an and one. But from that 8-16 mark on, the Celtics dominated, and it was with their defense and their length, everything that we talked about, the defensive versatility, the offensive versatility. Everybody could crack you off the dribble. Everybody could hit a three. Everybody could make a play. And then on the defensive end, guys could actually guard their yard. And then if Rob Williams is behind you, he can erase a mistake. For the first time in this series, I've seen this team play to their capabilities. Now they just have to sustain it. And once you taste success, you should never run away from it. You should actually run towards it. So I'm expecting them to run towards it. It's going to be a dogfight from here on out. I mean, if they come with this effort and energy, it's going to be a dogfight for Miami Heat to put the Celtics away.
Yeah, and let me give a lot of credit to Grant Williams, right? Like, being shuffled in and out of the lineup, getting DMPs, but staying in the moment. I thought he was huge tonight all across the board. I mean, I understand he had 14 points tonight. His threes, he was knocking down those three-point shots, but his defensive prowess, that one block, making a stance on Jimmy Butler was huge. I thought overall they did a great job of eliminating Bam. He has a zero impact on this game tonight. Still got to do a better job of containing Caleb Martin off the bench. I believe he had 16 points on 9 shots. But overall, they took Bam out of the game. That is the Heat's second best player. If Robert Williams and Al Horford can continue to neutralize him and take him out of the game and not let him have one of those type of performance where he's flirting with a triple-double and impacting on the defensive side of things, the Celtics will be in great shape come Game 5.
Grant Williams did have an impactful night, 14 points and also 4 of 6 from beyond the arc. A look at that final score down there in Miami, 116-99. The Celtics still won on the road.